Hello and welcome. And it is time to say we need some new revolutions. We need some new actions and courage to inspire and create change. We had Black Lives Matter. We had LGBT. We had Occupy Wall Street. We had these murders of presidential right wing candidates in South America, overseas. We had murdering corporate CEOs and right wing propaganda speakers today. What else? We had an epidemic, so we had restrictions, and then we had protests against authority and social distancing and vaccine mandates and protesting against that. Currently there's protests in Serbia, people protesting right-wing authority. Why? Well, it's fucked up. It's fucked up because no one can afford shit. You can't afford rent, can't afford a home, can't afford food, can't afford groceries, will never be able to afford a home, can't get married, can't have kids. Birth rates are plummeting all across the globe. The birth rate is declining. Can never afford a home. Salaries are going nowhere, so this is the point of the revolution. Corporations are getting richer and richer and richer and richer like this. Like fucking this. Not like this, not like this, not like this. Like this, corporations are getting richer. Google, $4 trillion. Nvidia went from like being a $400-300 billion company to being a $4-5 trillion richest company in the world over AI. And AI hasn't fucking done something genius yet in the span of 1 year it's been alive for. It's been alive for 1 year, hasn't really gone anywhere yet. All people are investing in the infrastructure, power centers, data centers, training models, nets and chips and processors, and people are investing in all this infrastructure. But in the fucking 1 year that AI has been present, it hasn't fucking done shit. It hasn't done shit. But the corporations, Nvidia, who's now the richest in America, richer than Elon Musk now, Oracle, Microsoft, Google, all American, and then you got Chinese companies doing it. So they're just getting richer and richer and billions and billions and trillions, not billions, trillions. Trillions, 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 trillions. Donald Trump slapped tariffs across everybody, across the entire world. The S&P 500 was slumping a little bit for the first 6 months of 2025 in the wake of all these tariffs. The election was in November of 2024. 2 months later, Donald Trump puts tariffs on everybody, and the first 6 months that he is in power, the S&P 500 slumps. The stock market in the USA slumps. Netflix doesn't fucking slump. Just skyrockets. Uber doesn't fucking slump. Just skyrockets. Do a little more digging into these corporations. How beneficial is corporate success to society? And how much does capitalism trickle down? Do billionaires trickle down into the economy? Trickle down like this, like a fucking spider, like me, like Spider-Man. How much do they trickle down? Well, when I looked at, if you look at all these companies, right? There's only one thing you gotta look at. You look at their revenue, you look at their profits, you look at their profit margin, where their income, net income, and you see it growing, and then you can just backtrack into what changes they made. Increased price, new product, new policy, new model, business model, revenue model. And then you look at the fucking costs. So the costs. What is included in costs? Mainly materials and wages. Materials and wages. So if they fucking got all this fucking new cash, the market capitalization, how much the company is worth if you were to acquire it, is in the trillions, multiple trillions. Growing at 100, 200, 300% per year. And you look at the costs, the wages and materials, went up this much went up, this much went up. So the tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands of employees, 75,000 employees that are actually fucking working on the product. The engineers make the product. The company doesn't make the product. The CEOs, the financial directors don't make the product. It's the engineers. And the engineers are living off a 100 to 150K salary. Pretty okay if you want to have a decent life. But they donated probably billions and hundreds of billions of net worth to the company over the years. And for someone bringing in hundreds of billions of dollars to pay them $150,000 per year to work around the clock, evenings, overtime, meetings, updates, bugs, verification, testing, research and development, engineering, design, and you pay them $150K and they increase you by 10 times. Google's philosophy has always been, we want to go for 10x. Where we are today, we want to increase our profit by 10 times, 10x, and revenue 10x. Not double, not triple, 10 times. So these engineers are focused on increasing you tenfold. And you're paying them $150K a year, 2% salary raise per year. 2%, maybe a $5,000 yearly bonus. Maybe if they complete a project, you give them a $5,000 yearly bonus. So, you look at the revenue, you look at the net income, you look at the profits, and then you look at the costs. Uber is becoming the golden gate of, I don't fucking know what, delivery? Taxis? They're a delivery and taxi company that has become the golden gate of society in USA. Are their employees being paid? I always go on Reddit. Is it worth it being an Uber driver? Is it worth it delivering food for Uber? And they're like, you literally get a $2 tip if you deliver food. If you ever get a tip and you're making like $3-4 per delivery, you make 4 deliveries an hour, you're getting $15-16 an hour plus $5 tips, you're making $20 an hour. 2024, I found that comment. 2024. And this many pages of people replying to the comments saying the same shit. So Uber, now worth $5 trillion, golden gate of America, paying their workers piss. Is that trickle down? Do I want to go work for Uber? I mean, how much has Uber revolutionized America in going from its IPO, a $50 billion company to a $1 trillion company? How much has Google revolution? Well, if you look at their app, they got rides for seniors, they got VIP vehicles, they got delivering packages, they got grocery and food delivery. Okay? Who does the work? It's some motherfucker in his car driving to pick up your package, driving to pick up your grandfather, driving to deliver your food, driving you in a premium vehicle to your destination. It's some motherfucker driving in a car. What the fuck did Uber innovate? What the fuck did they innovate to go from a $40 billion company to a $500 billion company? 10 times. It's the same motherfucker driving a fucking vehicle for peanuts and minimum wage. For peanuts and minimum wage. Where's the trickle down? Where's the trickle down? You got chocolate, beer, fucking clothes, shampoo, soap, toothpaste, mouthwash, deodorant. All that shit has zero competition. It's the same motherfucking two companies running that. That's their competition. Two companies. Two companies is their form of competition. Running that shit for the past 60 years. 60 years. And you overpay. What the fuck? So first of all, you want toothpaste. Is it quality? You only have two options in the store. Colgate and Crest. Colgate and Crest. And I use Sensodyne, who is probably owned by Colgate or Crest. So you got Colgate, you got Crest. Maybe if they don't own each other. And you go to the store and they maximum price. They got accountants. They got business degree people who got a degree in business, whatever the fuck that is. Your degree is business. And they fucking set the price to maximum revenue. Maximize revenue by setting the price. So they're gonna set the price as high as fucking possible. Look at Mario Kart. Nintendo Switch just came out. Nintendo Switch 2. Nintendo Switch 2. First of all, on Nintendo Switch 1, it had 4 games. Diablo, Mario World, which came out a lot later, Zelda, and Overwatch, which was free, or Super Smash Bros. So it has Super Smash Bros, Diablo, Zelda, and Mario Party, Mario World. Not Mario Party, Mario World. These are the same fucking games that are 10 years old on the other consoles. And Nintendo is selling them for $100 a pop. $100 a pop. I bought Nintendo Switch. The joysticks didn't work. The joysticks were fucking awful. So I went to order a new pair of those tiny joysticks. You can see they're right there. They're right there. That green light, that's the joystick. They're about this big. 2 of them like this, you hold it. So I had to order a new pair of joysticks because the joysticks that came with the box didn't fucking work. I go to order official joysticks, $100. $100. More than the price of an Xbox premium Xbox controller. More than the price of an elite PlayStation controller is a Nintendo Switch joystick. So I order the official joystick. $100. Delivered, open, pop it in. Doesn't fucking work. There's drift. Meaning you're standing still. You're not moving the joystick. You're not even touching the controller. And your character is doing this. Aiming like this. You aim to the right. You go to the right. And he goes like this. You aim up. And how the fuck are you supposed to play Zelda Ocarina of Time when it's all about fucking finesse? It's all about finesse. Zelda Sands of Time, or whatever the fuck it is. You aim up and then it's going like this. And now the Nintendo Switch 2 comes out. It's got one game. Mario Kart 64. Mario Kart 64. The Mario Kart I played was 30 years old. 30 fucking years old. And that is still the same game they got today. What does that mean? Does that mean we're all happy? Or does that mean that game is so fucking economically packaged that it is a cash cow? It is a cash cow. It's not going to drop for less than $150. You're going to need to pay subscription prices. You're going to need to pay for downloadable content. You're going to need to pay to upgrade and pay this exclusive title. This exclusive fucking title. Because do we win that we get Mario Kart 30 years later, the same fucking game? Or is it the golden egg? The golden egg of Nintendo, who is then going to use that money to pay their workers, right? Who developed that game, right? Or are they going to use that money to donate to cancer research and donate to food banks? Right? Right? Or are they going to pay their fair share of tax? Are they going to pay their fair share of tax? Or are they going to hire professional world-class accountants to fudge the figures, fudge the numbers, and avoid paying as much tax as possible? Right? Right? You decide. So this is the state we are in. Apple just came out with a new iPhone. Do we really need it? Do we really need it? The fucking price, I don't know. Every phone now is $2,000 Canadian, $3,000 Canadian. So they got Apple Air, they got like 4 different iPhones, an iWatch. I can't review the product. I haven't used it enough. I've never had an Apple phone. I don't know. But it looks to me a phone that is this thin, probably does not cost $1,000 to manufacture and distribute. Probably. I'm an engineer. I don't think if you got transistors or battery or memory, SSD or RAM or processors or screens or any sort of technology, chips, any sort of technology you can have in something this big, unless it is military grade, even then there's a limit to how much it can cost to mass produce these. Does it really cost $1,000 per phone? But wait, that money is going to go to paying the engineers to produce more revolutionary products for Apple and to go into the pockets of its employees. The pockets of its employees, for their hard work, are going to get this revenue from Apple in revenue sharing and be motivized with actual motivation to keep innovating for Apple, right? Because Apple is so innovative and its staff is very well paid. And that's how it's got all that money. Bullshit. What else? And what is the term for all of this I've been talking about for the past 20 minutes? What is the term of this? It is capitalism. It is capitalism on steroids. It is free market policy. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing bad about it. The freedom, the American dream that says you can do whatever the fuck you want in the name of profit. In the name of profit. And then it spills over beyond borders. It goes into these corporations, these richest men in the world, funneling their cash into politics, into fucking political campaigns to get their voices heard across legislation so they can hold on to power and get their corporations and their profit to be as much plentiful and bounty as possible, and hold on to as much power as possible. They are not using their money to pay their staff. They are not using their money to better materials. They are not using their money for worthy causes, donating to charity, curing Alzheimer's disease, cancer research, poverty, hunger, crime. They are not donating to worthy causes. They are using their money and donating it to political campaigns. So, we talked about the corporations. All you got to look at: profit margins, net profit, revenue, cost of expenses. How have wages and materials gone up? And how has the value of the corporation and the net income gone up? And then, and that's where society is at. That's where society is at. No one can afford a fucking home. The average salary has gone up 10%, 25% in the past 20 years since I was working age, since I was 18, graduated high school 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 17 years ago, so I don't fucking know the number. Salaries have gone up 25%, 25%. It was like 40, 50K when I was 50K when I was in high school was the average decent salary. And now the average decent salary is 60, 70K, and it was 40, 50K 20 years ago. And the cost of living, my home went from being $400,000 when we bought it in high school, $400,000, to now being well over $1 million. I don't know the exact number, $1.5 million, $1.2 million, $1.7 million. Let's say $1.5 million. So 4 times the home has gone up. 4 times, 400%. And the fucking wages have gone up 25%. 25%. Same goes for food, energy, oil, every discretionary products, discretionary spending, housing, rent. The biggest spenders are rent and food. Housing, rent, food, transportation. These have all fucking skyrocketed. The essentials have skyrocketed. And the wages have not. And who controls the wages? The corporations. So, if the free market world were working, an indicator would be that expenses and inflation have skyrocketed, wages have dipped and fallen flat, and corporations have been the victim. Corporations have been the victim and they have been suffering. But that is not the case, my friend. That is not the case. Corporations are as rich as ever. Corporations are literally swimming in oil, in Arabic oil, Russian oil, Texas oil, Arizona oil. The corporations are swimming in gold, diamond oil. Gold, diamond oil corporations are swimming in all of them. All of them. The entire S&P 500, the entire NASDAQ. Fucking you have a corporation for selling vaccines and selling healthcare. That's gone to trillions. That's gone to trillions. Corporations are swimming in gold, diamond, tainted oil. Like this. Which I already stated, I think 5 years ago I said this. I think I said this when there was the inflation crisis when it first started, right? I made a post on my shorts on YouTube. And I said, wait, there's inflation, people are suffering, and there's record levels of inflation and the economy is stuck. But corporations are fucking skyrocketing. Corporations are skyrocketing. But I thought inflation and a struggling economy was when there was no monetary supply, was when monetary supply was feeble and fucked. But corporations are fucking skyrocketing. So, that's your free market capitalism. That's your free market capitalism. Neither do they pay the employees, they exploit the price, and all that money that's funneled goes to the fucking corporation. Even the people renting homes, the landlords and the renting authorities are exploiting. So, then you got the government. The government, corruption, bribery, and then the common factor across all governments is political motives, just want to stay in power, financial and power motives. They want money, they want power, they want politics, political motives, they want their power, they want their money, they want their campaign, they want to look good, they want to maintain control, and then they do this, of course, through bribery and corruption. You think they actually have some Nikola Mladenovic sitting in a fucking government chamber with his glasses on and his fucking highlighter pen and breaking down the budget and breaking down the social assistance and breaking down the healthcare and taxes and revenue and net income. You think they actually have a fucking Nikola Mladenovich in the White House like an Elon Musk did for Trump, Doge, fucking going line by line and fucking discovering new methods to pay the people in taxes and all that shit? Or are all 100, 200, 300 counselors sitting in a fucking chamber talking about policy, political motives, financial motives, so they can spread propaganda, so they can debate, so they can stay in power, and that's all they fucking do because they are one big mafia gang. They are one big mafia gang. Which is actually happening? Which do you think is actually happening in the world right now? That some Nikola Mladenovich is sitting, breaking down the budget line by line, or that there are 300 counselors in a chamber debating political motives, financial motives, how they can topple the enemy, and how they can stay in power. So that's the government. We went through corporations, we went through government. Then you got your essentials. So however much you revolt and revolutionize, you need your essentials. Food, water, energy, jobs, education, and healthcare. You need healthcare, education, jobs, energy, water, and food. Those are the essentials that must stay in place. Maybe travel to like airports. Travel to. Then you got the globalism, what everybody needs. No war, no poverty, no disease, no hunger, no crime, environmental conscious, preserve the animals, preserve the ecosystem, preserve the planet. Peace, end racism, sexism, abuse, human trafficking, household abuse, bullying, abuse, racism, sexism. Have peace. Environmentally conscious, crime, hunger, disease, poverty, and war. Those are the globalists, the true globalists. I don't mean fucking we're on Ukraine's side, we're on Russia's side, we're fighting for Israel or fighting for Palestine. I mean the true globalist agenda is none of that horseshit. It is war, poverty, disease, hunger, crime, environment, peace, racism, sexism, abuse. If you're a true globalist, you fight for the battle for these things. The battle for these things. Not fucking beating somebody's face in at a rally about Israel, Afghanistan, Korea, China, India. I don't know. That's not what a true globalist is supposed to do. So that is the overall rundown of government, corporations, your essentials, and your globalism. And the effects that it has on the current status quo. Let me write this down. I got it in a document for you. You're going to have to watch this video for all the details, but the highlights are in the document. We're going to call it Society Conditions. Nothing creative, just call it Society Conditions. So housing and rent up 400% in 20 years, as well as food, energy, products, transportation, but wages only went up 25%. To add hither more, we got inflation. Wars and division across political spectrums, Republicans and conservatives First liberals and Democrats. And you got assassinations, protests, demonstrations, wars. And then the standard issues of racism, sexism, poverty, disease, hunger, crime. Although the most progress has been made to these sectors. So the most progress society has done is in fact been to poverty, crime, disease, hunger. Like if you look 20 years ago on the UN website or whatever, there were like 1.6 billion people living in extreme poverty, which is staggering. Extreme poverty was 1.6 billion people. And 20 years later, we've dropped that number to 600 million. So we've almost less than halved the amount of people living in extreme poverty. Of course, not extreme poverty, just regular poverty. You still got like 2 billion people living in less than $5 a day. So 2 billion people still live on less than $5 a day. But, you know, some diseases, hunger, poverty, and like these African, Asian countries have been improved quite a bit in the past 20 years. That's where we're doing good work. But the first world problems, so majority are first world problems for freedom and human dignity. The first world problems, that's what we've been talking about in this video. The first world, the Democrats and the liberals versus the Republicans and the conservatives, the left versus the right, corporations, profits, inflation, housing costs, wages, net profit paying their workers, monopolies. Let's add that here. Monopolies. What else did we say? Government. I got that for government. Yeah. So I'm gonna write this down. Engineers design and improve and build upon a $300 billion revenue increase or value and are paid $150K. You don't need some genius. You don't need some Elon Musk. You don't need some Mark Zuckerberg. You don't need some Jeff Bezos. You don't need some Tim Cook. You don't need some CEOs of Google, Apple, Microsoft, Facebook, Tesla, Nvidia. You don't need these guys. All you need is regular fucking engineers. The engineers do all the work. Engineers are not stupid. Engineers are fucking geniuses. Every single one of them. Most of them. All of them. Engineers are geniuses, especially if they have experience. They come together and they come up with product designs. And it's fucking phenomenal. It's phenomenal. The engineers. And then they are paid $100K. $150K, and they're designing your company to be worth trillions and trillions of dollars. And all that money goes to Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg. So the engineers, if we were really living the American dream, these engineers would be able to start their own competition, would be able to start entrepreneurship, and a lot of them do, but they are fucking manhandled by the monopolies and corporations that run the literal political governments are in their favor. The political governments and laws and regulations are in their favor. They got market share, they got campaign, advertising, and pools and pools and pools and pools of money. So how is somebody with no money have to outcompete and less resources gonna outcompete Google, Apple, Microsoft, and Nvidia? How is somebody with no money and no resources gonna outcompete Google, Apple, Microsoft, who own the government, who own the policies, who own the market share, and own all of corporate America? How is somebody going to compete with them? And if they do compete with them, they're going to be bought out. As soon as they start growing, the person who spilled his blood and guts to compete is going to settle for a $1 billion, a $500 million, $2 billion paycheck and sell his company to those giants. That happens day in, day out. Those corporations going to come after them, say, hey, we like your product, we'll give you $1 billion, sell us your shit, and you're gone. You're done. So those are the first world problems. Corporations, free market capitalism, exploitation of resources, wages, workers, no real competition. So I've been preaching this same shit. For an era. And all my documents are nice and legible. They're color coded, they're organized, they're as if a fucking engineer made them. A Canadian fucking engineer made these documents. And, they're not for any corporation. I'm making this for the people, for the fucking people. I should be a government guy. I should be a leader, a political leader, or a leader of the people, for freedom, for true freedom and democracy. Because I'm making all this shit free of charge, and just to educate you and to dig deeper into the realities of society and what the fuck is actually happening. And I got documents upon documents upon documents, and I pair it up with videos upon videos upon videos, so you can get educated studying my work, and you should. It's all free. Fucking YouTube and Google Drive and Microsoft Cloud. All right, so gonna wrap up this video. Good document we just made, and stay classy, New York.